We're not against development, we're against pollution. We want the best development possible for Lake George. When we have a resource as extraordinary as Lake George, it deserves the best development possible.
They're beautiful, sometimes hypnotic, and always fun to explore. But what you may not know is that the streams of the Lake George watershed, providing more than half of the water in the lake, play a critical role in the quality of the water and the quality of life for everyone, animal or human, who calls Lake George home. Streams in the watershed contribute millions of gallons a day to Lake George.
A good stream is an economic benefit to anybody's property and adds more property value, so therefore you want to protect that.
And the simplest way to maintain a healthy stream is to preserve its natural course, the pools and riffles, and especially the forested area on either side, what we call stream buffers.
Ideally, a stream buffer is the area on both sides of a stream that should be relatively undisturbed, and also serves as an extremely important water quality protective measure.
When you provide a buffer, you're providing not just something for water quality protection, but you're also providing an area for our natural species to feel comfortable and to develop a natural habitat.
Stream buffers are important in many ways. They reduce the amount of pollutants like chlorides, sodium, calcium, nitrates, phosphates, and sulfates that flow into the streams from lawns and paved areas. They provide trees with deep roots to stabilize banks and draw out the nutrients before they can reach the water, and a canopy to stabilize water temperature and slow the growth of algae and other plants that can result in the loss of aquatic habitat for many species. So you would think that something so vital to the health of the lake would be written into the rules and regulations. You would think that, but you'd be wrong.
Unfortunately, since 1988, the Park Commission has not adopted its rules and regulations for how it's going to implement the laws of the state of New York, by which the state has said protect the streams around the lake. There's a blank page in the Park Commission's rulebook that has been blank since 1988.
This has led to a patchwork of often conflicting or non-existent rules governing development along the waterways of the Lake George Basin.
There are no strict regulations which say that we have to maintain a vegetated and undisturbed corridor. So as we have seen these corridors impacted, we have seen impacts to the streams through the stream assessment program at the Lake George Waterkeeper. We've seen the impacts to macroinvertebrates from upstream undisturbed areas to downstream. So you can tell that there's an impact to the water quality, and we can also see that there's impacts to the streams by the growth of deltas along the lake.
One of the undisputed benefits of stream buffers that scientists have found from around the country is that stream buffers control sediment. If there is a forested strip along both sides of a stream of 25, 50, 100 feet, all of the stormwater that carries in all sorts of sand and dirt and other particulates and pollutants, all of that is trapped in that forested buffer. What we have behind us here is sediment on one brook here on Lake George, Westbrook, that has brought thousands of tons of sediment down off the mountainside, down through the village, down this stream channel, and out into Lake George. If we had had stream buffer regulations 20 years ago, or even 10 years ago, tens of thousands of tons of sediment, if not more, would still be up on the hillsides as opposed to out in the lake.
The differences in the water quality between disturbed and undisturbed streams around the lake are substantial. Once a stream is impacted, it is extremely difficult and expensive to restore it to its original state. Healthy stream habitat includes rocks, boulders, and logs, which provide pools and channels for many organisms, including important species like brook trout, and spawning habitat for salmon.
We have lost a tremendous amount around the lake in the past 20 years because of the inaction of the Lake George Park Commission. The Park Commission says that they are the managers of the lake, but at the same time, we have the manager of the lake who is allowing the natural environment, the ecologic integrity, the environmental health of the lake to be degraded and despoiled because of their inaction.
The Fund for Lake George invites you to act now. Call upon the Lake George Park Commission to finalize and adopt stream corridor control regulation and establish a stream buffer program for all streams throughout the watershed. Go to www.lgpc.state.ny.us and click on the Comments link. The Lake George Park Commission has just released draft stream corridor regulations and is taking public comments until February 28, 2009. To get a copy of these new regulations, go to the Park Commission website. You can also get more information on these regulations and see a call to action detailing the major issues and showing how you can get involved by visiting the Fund for Lake George and the Lake George Waterkeeper website. Stream health is vital to the health of Lake George. We need your help to urge the Lake George Park Commission to finalize stream buffer protection regulations now. Look for more Focus on the Watershed videos on this site, www.fundforlakegeorge.org.